What up, you guys? My name is The Realm Guide, and you have tuned into The Realm Guide channel. What I'm about to do is review some of the dreams that you guys have sent to me. Feel free to like, subscribe. The more that I get, the more that I do. Here are the rules and the gist of this, right? Our dreams, they don't make sense half the time when we're, having them. They damn sure don't make sense when we wake up from them. But if you can write them down and send them my way, I can interpret them for you. And 9 times out of 10, we could probably find some juicy stuff in there. The bigger goal is for you to be able to understand actually what is being said in your dream and for you to utilize it. So sometimes it's just interesting to know. So I got this girl here. Her name is Jamaica. She is from Alabama. She is 27 years old. And she titled it, "He Wanted to Be a Freak." So I ran into my ex, but I had a flight. It was not until 10, so I decided to take him on. I got to get in the shower, and I see dark pee. It's mixed in the water. Ew. I mentioned it to him. I guess the pee in the toilet that was dark definitely has something to do with his inner energy. But anyway, so she says ew. She mentions it to him and he denies it. She knew that he lied. Still attempted to have sex with him, but there was no actual injury. I was happy. I didn't want him anyway. As I'm packing to leave, my family outside the hotel. Okay, so sis is actually in a hotel freaking her, planning to freak her ex, but it doesn't happen. And she kind of is given a signal ahead of time because his pee is dark, and he's also denying that he even left the pee in the toilet. Okay, cool. So, her family's outside of this hotel, and it says, and a joke from my uncle comes, something about being a freaky person, like being sexual, and I ignore it. So somewhere in you may possibly feel like you are, that there's a side of yourself that maybe your family may know, but, you may bypass it. Also, it could be that the uncle may be a bit of a freaky person and could see it on you. But let's continue. All right, so, and I continue into the hotel. Okay, I see. I continue into the hotel to make sure I'm not leaving anything. My mom calls just as I get into the hotel room's entry door and asks me, am I being a hoe? Okay, so yeah, like at this point, if anything, you may have some anxiety about your family possibly knowing about your sexual behavior or your sexual lifestyle. But let's continue. So mom asks, do I need money? Am I telling her the truth about needing money and etc.? I tell her no. As I'm heading out of the hotel and into the van where my uncle is, I see another ex, and he makes eye contact with me, but he doesn't say anything. He just looked like he was being held hostage. Well, next to him is this girl that he used to date, and I immediately knew what was up with them, so I kept walking. I wasn't interested in any of them anyway. Okay, sis, so on top of that, you may be possibly bisexual. If not bisexual, then the interest in couples may not necessarily be your thing. Or you may have had an ex that, simply put, you could just have had an experience with this other ex-partner, and you saw that he was still dealing with the same female, which would tell you he hasn't changed, and so you're capable of moving on. Let's see. And the whole comment from my mom and the opinion from my uncle just set me over the top. I wondered who was going to have sex with him. Okay, so I'm assuming she still had a sense of curiosity about the ex that she's passing through that's still in this this other state or childlike behavior, and I wake up. Okay, all right, so like what I'm hearing from this is that you may be moving on from the persons that you were previously attracted to, because it sounds like both persons, both the initial ex that you were going to have sex with but couldn't have penetration, and on top of that the other gentleman who you were passing by who had the girl that was still attached to him. It gives me a couple flavors. Like you may have been attracted to guys that were either unavailable or they weren't completely honest about who they were. Especially if a nigga left pee in the toilet and you're feeling like, you know, you ask him about it and he denies it. So that kind of gives it kind of gives a flavor of the type of maturity that you're growing past when it comes to these male persons. Also, like I said, if your other guy is having this attachment to this other girl and you happen to notice it's the same girl that he was dealing with before, well then the only thing I can sit here and tell you is that, you know, if that's what's going on, it's probably what, if that's how the dream is moving, it's probably what's actually going on. Beyond that, I would say too that, you know, you having this, your sexuality may be changing as well. I know that I initially was, you know, pointing out something to you in the form of your type of sexuality. I think, you know, I do think that there is some sense of sexuality that needs to be explored, especially the mentioning of the partners and you're not interested, but you're still wondering about him. I'm not necessarily implying the idea that you have a bisexual nature, but maybe if you have not had some type of bisexual experience, you know, you, like I said, you could, if it's not the bisexual route that I'm offering you, you could just be still interested in that particular type of behavior or that particular type of lack of availability. And that could mean that, like, you're attracted to people that you're not necessarily able to access easily, which would then make me want to ask you, why are you attracted to people that aren't necessarily honest, mature, or you know, available? And a big one would be, and why does your sex tie in with them? And that would be a lot of, like, possibly alluding to, like I said, something being centered around being sexually attracted to people who are unavailable, emotionally immature, which could be the type of people that you may be inviting into your life right now. So what I would recommend overall would be to maybe just pay attention to the partners that you're attracting. See if they are showing some of these particular behaviors. Are they being dishonest about stuff you know is clear as day? Like if you looked in the toilet and the toilet pee was dark and you go and ask this nigga about it, why is he lying? You know what I mean? Like to have something there blatant as day would also say that, like, there could be behaviors that's coming from this current person you're dating, or this past, I think you identified him as an ex, or this ex that was clearly lying, but you stayed. So, like I said, just kind of wanted to put those things into flavor for you so that you could have something to think off of. But let me know what you guys are thinking. What do you think that this dream is really trying to say to her? And what would be your advice in this particular case? Like I said, drop the comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all again soon.